In this video, I go over 4 mistakes to avoid to help you become so valuable as a software developer that you end up essentially being irreplaceable, even in this age of rapid advancements in artificial intelligence. Hey, my name is Khan. I'm a software engineer at a startup, and I've worked for companies like Sony and Google. And right now, the startup I work for allows me to work part-time remotely from across the world in a totally different time zone and gives me complete autonomy over how my work gets done. And they put a lot of trust in me to consistently produce good work. This reality is only possible because I've earned the trust of other engineers on my team through reliable, high quality work. And to be honest, I really don't think I'm that special. I just embody certain characteristics and mindsets that help me do great work wherever I go. And I believe you can learn these things too. And I certainly don't mean to be insensitive in making this video. I'm aware that there are many engineers out there with many years of experience even that are looking for jobs but aren't able to find employment right now. This is not a knock on anyone. I'm making this video with the purest intention to be helpful and uplifting to anyone that comes across it. So here are the 4 mistakes to avoid so that you can adopt the right mindset and ultimately prevent being displaced, even in this volatile economy in the age of AI disruption. Let's dive in. The first mistake that people make is that they think that becoming a software engineer is the same thing as landing a job as a software engineer. There's a nuance. Just because you land a job as a programmer doesn't mean you're fit to keep the position and actually be of lasting value to the company. There's more to this than slapping together some projects, formatting your resume, working on presenting yourself, preparing for coding interviews, networking at every meetup, and then hoping that you strike gold. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do these things. These things do matter, but they don't matter in the long run. They help you land a job, but they don't help you exhibit professionalism and produce high quality work on an ongoing basis. The job search is one tiny step in the long arch of a successful career. How good you are at job searching does not correlate with how well you keep your job. And the irony with this is that if you focus on your ability to keep a job and thrive as a software developer, then job searching becomes easy. It's just a byproduct of your innate interest, skills, and level of professionalism. Focus on being a great software developer. Focus on developing skills. Focus on continually building cool stuff. You are a skilled software developer first, and then eventually paid by a willing and eager employer second. That's the order of operations. The second mistake people make is to not be a professional. What does it mean to be a software engineer that's not a professional? They have a low bar for quality. They don't deliver things on time. They don't thoroughly examine the requirements and identify potential problems. They don't build things that are robust enough. They don't deliver them in working condition. They don't see things through. And when things break, they don't adequately follow up, or they leave it to other engineers to address the problems it causes. They don't have a genuine interest in accepting responsibility and owning their work, or they shy away from the accountability of deadlines and business constraints. And the list goes on. And I didn't even talk about the quality of code itself. I don't even have to touch on the actual craft of coding to drive home this point. Okay, that was a bit of a rant. Look, I get it. Realistically, no one's perfect. I don't mean to call anyone out with this. I'm certainly imperfect in some of these areas. The point that I'm trying to drive home is this. You can bet that the ones who strive to be professional in the standard of work they produce do better than the ones who don't, or actively avoid facing this reality altogether. Don't be that person. Have some skin in the game. Put forth your best effort. Make stuff you're proud of. Mistake number 3 is that they don't help move the needle for the business. Software engineers are a vital part of any business. That's because the work that they do essentially creates an army of automated robots that do additional work on behalf of humans. This is an incredibly high leverage, high responsibility task for the business. And at least in the US, talented software engineers are handsomely paid like the valuable assets they are to the company. But with great power comes great responsibility. We must ensure that we're actually moving the business forward with our work. Otherwise, we're just overpaid cogs displaced in a machine where we don't belong, doing work that doesn't amount to any material benefit for the business. Programming seems clean cut and dry on the surface. We're just dealing with machines after all, right? Nope, not at all. Software engineering in the real world is unbelievably messy. We have to take requirements from different stakeholders like design, product managers, VPs, and execs. We have to navigate the politics going on internally at the company, unfortunately, and we have to take into account the system constraints. And then actually implement the thing that will most benefit the company. We're effectively the backstop that's taking in all this noise and helping decide what to implement into the system. At the end of the day, we have a responsibility to the business and our own self-interest to help it survive in the world. We're a vital piece of the checks and balances so that product managers and designers make effective decisions for the business. Many people opt to just do what they're told by product managers or designers. Indispensable engineers don't hold back from voicing their opinion when they have a better holistic view. And it's certainly not that we're always right just because we know the system better. We aren't. But it's this ability to enlighten others with information about the system to help make better collaborative decisions that makes us valuable. Don't just be a cog that does what they're told. Be a useful cog that also contributes valuable insights and opinions to the company. Mistake number 4 is that they're in it for the wrong reasons. To be honest, this responsibility to be professional and be cognizant of how to help move the needle for the business is a heavy lift for a lot of people. It requires business acumen, analytical skills, and effective communication, all on top of being a versatile programmer. This isn't what a lot of people signed up for. They got into it because it pays well. It's cushy and comfortable. Simply doing the minimum and doing what you're told and coasting along might be tolerated for a few months because you're still learning and getting accustomed to the team. But it's not a good strategy to become a thriving contributor in the long run. If you're in it just for the money, your motivation to step up to the plate and be a valuable contribution will eventually run dry. You know, the position pays well for a reason. You have to be willing to own up to the challenges that the nature of our work presents. The thing with external motivators, like money, is that they erode internal motivation. This is why artists that make their art their primary source of income end up not enjoying it. The pursuit of material wealth through their art eroded their internal motivation to want to make the art for the sake of the craft, for the pure simplistic desire to want to create something. The people that do well in the career of software engineering, at least from what I've observed, are the people that genuinely care about what they're building and want to do it well for the sake of making something with care and attention to detail. And they would code even if they weren't being paid for it. And this is observed by the fact that they often have side projects that involve coding, even if they are being paid. And they lose track of time in the process of coding. They frequently achieve a peak state of focus through the activity. Don't make the mistake of pursuing coding just because it pays well. That might be why you started. That's totally fine. That was my reason for starting too. But at some point, you're gonna want to assess whether you actually enjoy the act of coding. Be honest with yourself so you don't waste your life doing something you dislike. Okay, so those are the 4 mistakes to avoid so you can stay employed as a software engineer. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to my channel. I also have a coding newsletter where I share insights on becoming an effective software engineer and high-performing individual. I also host these live workshops and you'll be the first to know if you're signed up for the newsletter. Check it out if you're interested. I'll leave a link in the video description. Okay, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.